These are the top 3 mistakes ruining your dog walk and how to fix them. So rule number 1, you're trying to walk for distance in the beginning, not duration. We want you to focus on how long you're going to walk your dog and not how far. So if it usually takes you 20 minutes to get around the entire block, then I want you to only take 20 minutes to do everything that the dog will do perfectly. And we're not going to move forward with any of this until the dog is doing it exactly the way we want. So what that means is the walk starts before I even put the leash on. If I bring the leash out and the dog's going crazy, bouncing back and forth, right, I'm going to calmly, I may say sit if they will sit, but I'm going to stand here calmly. A walk's not a party. It is an exciting thing for the dog because the dog gets to go do a bunch of stuff. But if you're starting the dog off in that excited state of mind, then it's going to transfer into the whole walk. I don't want that. I want a nice, fun, calm walk and exciting when it's supposed to be exciting, but that's it. So that means when I first bring the leash out, I want the dog to come over here. Waffles here. Come in. Good. And I want her to sit. Then I'm going to take the leash and I'm going to leash her up. If at any point she gets up and she freaks out, I'm going to start over. I don't have to go all the way back to the beginning, but I'm going to take at least a step back to where I can get her to sit here until she is until she's calm. Go to put the leash on, she jumps up, goes crazy. I tell her to sit again, go to put it on. I'm not going to go to the next step if she's jumping all over and going crazy. Now, the next part is I'm going to then grab the handle. Dog's usually going to jump up and go crazy. I'm going to tell him to sit. I'm not going to move forward until I can grab the door and open the door, sit, and have them sit there, right? So up until I'm not going to move forward until they're doing all the steps correctly. Very good. Very good. And this, good, if is how you work for duration, not distance. That means if it takes me 20 minutes to get them calm and I'm working with them just to get the leash on, then that's it. If it takes me the next day 20 minutes to just put my hand on the door and to open it up, then that's the 20 minutes. Trust me, they'll be tired. They're going to be trying to figure out what's going on. I do not move forward until they do that part correctly. So now what I'm going to do is, now that she's okay with me touching, and I'm going to make it, as she gets better at sitting there, I'm going to make it more difficult for her and more exciting in ways to make it where she'll probably hop up. I want it to be to where I can eventually just grab the handle and she puts her butt down, and this isn't a super exciting thing. Then I'm going to open up the door. Nope, sit. Very good. Sit. Good. So I move just 1 or 2 steps back. There we go. Good. Now we're going to go out. Here. Sit. Nope. Here. 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 Good. So right there, she went a little bit too far. So I'm going to start over. Now I don't necessarily need to close the door for that one. Good. Here. Sit. Sit. Very good. I'm not going to move any further forward until she's sitting here, because what I want to have happen is when I come out the door, she puts her butt down, so that way I can nicely close the door and lock the door and she's not going crazy or anything. So now that we're here, I'm going to nicely close the door. And I want her sitting that whole time so I can lock the door. Good. Sit. Now, I'm not going to move forward until she's right where I want her to be, where she's paying attention. Now I start going here. So if at any point she goes out in front of me here, she goes out in front of me, I'm going to walk back here. Nope. Here. Good. Very good. Even if it takes me 20 minutes, again, I have 20 minutes. So if it takes me 10 minutes to get all the way to the sidewalk, then I'm going to take 10 minutes to get back, right? I want her to learn how to follow me and not just take off. Here. As long as she's walking with me, I can choose a direction and go. Here. Here. So now once I've gone and I've made it to the actual sidewalk, I'm going to walk back and forth and get her to follow me. If she goes out in front, I'm going to turn around and walk the other way. I'm just going to do that each day. We're going to go a little bit further, a little bit further, and a little bit further, but I'm never going to allow her to do what I don't want her to do. Here. She goes out in front of me, I just turn around. Here. Now she's not, but this is pretty much here what I would do. You notice right now, I'm not even working on her. Good, here, come on. At a heel. All I'm saying is here. I just want her to stay with me and walk with me. We're just going on a nice, easy walk. Good girl. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Eventually, what's going to happen as you continue to do this, you're going to get further and further and further and make it so you can actually get around that block or however far you want to go. So that is step or mistake number one. Mistake number two, you're letting your dog control the walk. Your dog is sniffing what it wants, when it wants, peeing where it wants, going to the bathroom where it wants, going and choosing when it stops and goes. Doesn't get to do that. When it's time for a walk, it is time for a walk. Now, that doesn't mean you can't hit certain spots where they like to sniff and they like to go to the bathroom. I personally like to make sure that I'm stopping at my neighborhoods or the neighborhood little dog bag things, so that way I can use those dog bags instead of the ones that I carry. But if you're walking and your dog is sniffing the rocks and there and you're stopping for them and everything like that, the dog's learning it controls the walk and is going to do what it wants to do. Come on, here. They need to stay at your pace. They need to do what you want them to do. And then when it's time for them to go explore, you give them that and go, all right, come on. All right, go ahead. Break. And you allow them that freedom if they want to take it. But you choose when that is. Otherwise, you have some dogs that will actually lay down and you see them on social media where the owner's trying to pick them up and everything like that because that dog is controlling the walk. You have it where the dog just gets tired and sits or just will not get off a scent, and you don't have time for that. Otherwise, if that starts happening, you have where you need to go to work, you have groceries to get or something like that, and you go, I can't take my dog because my dog will be a butthead and end up sitting or something like that, and I can't afford not to do this thing. So we want to make sure that the dogs understand that a walk, we go at my pace. It's not at your pace. We do this as I want, and we make it to where you listen to me at all times. And finally, the easiest one to fix, you're using a harness. I don't care what harness it is. I don't care if it's one that, pulls to the side and makes them stop, whatever. When you have a harness, that puts their whole body behind what they're doing. So if you control the head and you control the neck, what happens is when you pull, that moves the dog's head automatically. If you control the head or the neck, you completely control the dog. So when when you have a harness, that dog can pull completely against its own body and it's not uncomfortable. You can't move it or anything. I don't care how big or small the dog is, that harness will make your walk worse. And a little bonus here, the biggest thing with all of this is patience. Okay? Your dog isn't going to be good or perfect the first time. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit of patience. With the right training, with the right ideas, and the right techniques, you're going to be able to walk your dog within a week or so. Do not rush the process. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your dog. I promise if you make it to where you're just taking a little bit at a time and you're focusing on that duration and not distance, and you're only giving it as much time as you're either patient for or you have time for, that is a big game changer. I'm Mark with At Your Home Dog Training. Stay tuned for more tips.